then State of the Industry was good. Hard. We ran it. So people don't know the State of the Industry. It's like it's kind of famous among stand-up comics, at least. Andy Kindler used to host it. Very niche.
I wish
very specific. About just roasting. The audience is traditionally a lot of agents and managers, and I do think, not even in a dig way, that JFL, it used to be a lot. Like WME would send like an army to just go sign. People who got New Faces got TV deals after it.
Wow.
You did New Face. There's a great documentary, Seinfeld. It's one of the best stand-up comedy documentaries. It's called Comedian, and it's him post Seinfeld success trying to write a new hour. And they mirror it with this comedian who I'm going to forget his name, but he was in New Faces. And it's a brutal portrayal of this young comic. His ego's like out of control, and it's disastrous. And apparently he claims that there was an edit that made him look better. Like they gave him the villain edit.
Okay.
Which is tough compared to like Seinfeld, who's just like everyone is in love with Jerry Seinfeld. But it's this incredible portrayal of what JFL was, and like, you got to JFL and you were now going to be a household name comedian. The same way Carson was. What it could do is crazy.
I mean, we had someone on that they would talk about, like, remember he told that story about, like...
Roy Wood.
Yes.
Roy Wood.
Yeah. The guy coming and basically getting bought out. Like, he had shows here and they were like, we're buying you out.
Warner Brothers, like, he did one show and they were like, we will give you like $500,000 if you leave the festival right now.
If you leave the festival right now.
Holy
so you don't get, you have a Warner Brothers contract. And like, that was what was happening in like the 80s, 90s.
Like how Sundance has those big movies go and you see like a bidding war.
Yeah. Like, it was like
but
that.
For comics. That's
it was like that.
So sick.
And so like this, I think the State of the Industry, like in that context, it made a lot of sense. You could just talk a lot of shit to these people's faces. Like you were never going to have the creatives from HBO in the same room with all the agents from WME in the same place, blah, blah, blah. But that's kind of the spirit of it. And so Jay Jordan and I were asked to co-host it. And it's also a little scary because it's like, you want to talk shit.
Yeah.
You want to talk shit and you're like, I talk shit all the time, but this is a concentrated version of like people will maybe talk about this. So you have to figure out what are your lines.
That's fascinating.
And also with like comedians, like we wanted to not just go after just Tony Hinchcliffe or whatever. We wanted to go after everyone. But then you're like, what's a joke that is real? And I feel maybe brave to say, risky to say, but you don't want to, hurt. Whose feelings are you willing to hurt? And like it's a chance to like shit talk in public, and it's just really hard.
I can't imagine, especially like last year when I went to my first JFL, I was like, this is agents and managers like Coachella. Like it is what it felt like, where it's like it's all of them. It's more of them than us.
It's way more of them. Yeah.
And they're all having a blast.
They are, living it up.
Yeah.
But it's also cool. I think like what I wanted to do with it, or I think what's cool about it is everyone gets away with murder in terms of bad behavior or maybe comedians who suck. Like sometimes one of these things can be is like you get to be like, hey, can we all acknowledge this person sucks or this practice sucks or this network's doing a fucked up thing? And it's just a weird space where not necessarily a lot of people are watching it, but the people who make the decisions do hear the thing or feel shamed in front of their peers. And it's cool.
That's awesome.
But we did a full writer's room. We got Mike Lawrence, who's like, writes the Netflix roast and works with Nikki Glazer, and Ariel Elias, who's a friend, and Skylar Higley and Robbie Slowick, and then Tovah also was like it. She was there for all the writers' rooms and was throwing in some jokes.
Oh fuck yeah! Can I hear your Smosh one?
Yeah, so the Smosh one was
or your Dropout one.
It's funny because it came similar to, it became like the Dropout jokes, and we parsed out which ones. Smosh was, first Smosh started out with like the rant at the end where it was like, we don't need it. The industry, you're outsourcing all your work. Yeah. So if you outsource it, you're going to become irrelevant. And the line was Smosh needs Reddit more than they need WME. And by the way, so we get to this big rant part. And
that's so true.
It's kind of exciting to get to the rant part, but it's also, there's this moment where I was like, oh, this part's bombing kind of. And I'm like, yeah, I'm telling the audience they suck at their jobs. Yeah. Like, I'm like, what did you expect, Gianmarco, that I was going to be like, you guys need to start doing your job.
And they're like, woo!
Nothing? Hello, is this thing on?
They're like, I got a steak dinner I got to go to with all my agents in an hour.
Truly.
And then the Smosh part was like, yeah, Smosh, it's for Dropout fans who can't afford $7 a month.
It's so good.
And Jay's like, "Whoa, you're okay making fun of Smosh?" I was like, "No, I think it's important to have a platform for people who say amazeballs when they come." And that one hit. That one hit hard.
That's good.
But
man, Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
It also was like it was yeah.
It's important to have
I don't think it's going to ruin my Smosh booking on the books.
No.
But that's the thought. You're like, you don't know who has a thin skin sometimes until you say a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also, if it's a good joke, we Smosh used to do a lot of roasts. And
Really?
I want to bring them back so badly because you would fuck up. We would,
But
there's so many more.
I feel like
No, they would go hard. They would go hard.
I did the Smosh Roots Reddit. I just remember one moment. We had a great time. But at some point, it was kind of a joke about like, men, boo, women, yeah. And it's me and two other guys on stage.
Yeah.
And it's the same moment we did a live show where we got this guy's house from the audience and like the fourth, fifth,
It was like
sixth one,
straight
white
men.
guys doing podcasts.
And you're
I'm
like, okay, well, you're at a live show.
So you're
what do
here.
Should we kill ourselves in front of you? What do we do?
But it was more the thing of like, you like us.
We are that.
can't endorse this statement.
Yeah.
You do like us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
A
so
lot
I feel
of
like a
Smosh fans
roast.
are
Like
that way.
if I had to roast you, or if I had to roast,
It would be so fun.
I would if I was going to try to do well.
Yeah.
First of all, roast takes so much time. I mean, I don't do
I-
roast casually.
It's-
It's so much work.
It's so much work. I think that's why they stopped. It's also you need good writers, good
I just think people get upset.
No, yeah.
I get upset. I hate roasts.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like them.
You got to watch the state of the state of the
Yeah,
industry run
yeah,
through.
yeah.
Was it fun?
I don't feel like that didn't feel. I mean, I guess it's because I'm not.
It was exciting to do.
It
'cause
was fun. Yeah.
It was the first thing I could say to like my stand-up comic friends. I was like, "You want to see this one?" Because I would never say that for like, "You want to see my new hour?"
Yeah,
You want to
yeah,
go
yeah.
see my new hour? We're coworkers. But this was like, "Hey,
You're gonna
we're
love what
talk-
I'm doing."
And the one I was proud to say. And I didn't write it, but it was just making fun of JFL no longer being prevalent in the industry, and it was JFL is to the industry what Canadian comedians are to JFL, and it just felt so good to say because for so many years I've been doing this festival for a while. I come to Canada often, and the Canadian comics just always express how they feel this frustration at this incredible comedy festival that's part of their world, but they feel not included.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to say it's just like again, just to be able to say a thing with everyone there.
And we said it out loud.
I'm not saying it makes a difference. It's just like we also talked about Bruce Hills. We talked about Riyadh and Jay said, like, everyone gets mad at the artists who do Riyadh. We never get a chance to talk about the fucking people who set up this festival to begin with. And Bruce Hills, was winning a big award here because he built JFL. He produced Riyadh. And so we had a lot of jokes about, I think, what do we say about Bruce Hills? It was, he did JFL and he also does Riyadh. It's good to know some of your festivals, the comedians are adequately paid. and Jay was like, we know you'll be okay with us making fun of you because we know you're okay with looking the other way. And I said, I understand Canadian dollars is a lot less than blood money. And it was just like, publicly comedians and performers get excoriated for their actions. And the people behind them who may have persuaded them or set it up, they don't even get a name check.
That's so fucking true.
Yeah.
Wow. I wish I saw it.
Yeah.
We'll put up the highlights. We discussed do we want to put up the whole thing, and it was like there was the problem is when you're mean, if the joke bombs, it feels like you made a very cruel statement.
Well, what I'm so impressed by is I saw like a long extended version of it on Tuesday night because you did it, and what was so hard is like it's really hard to like find a good prep audience for this kind of thing.
Yeah, because
so like even to test out the material, you're like because it's like people need so much context. People, like when you were doing the test show on like Tuesday night in New York in that tiny little weird Port Authority cool space, there were people that didn't know who Tony Hinchcliffe is.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so you're like, how am I going to do this whole 10 minutes? Yeah.
But it was even worse is the night before Jay and I did, we found there's a third floor comedy club, I think it's called, and it's a 30-seater, and I was like, let's do a run through, 9:30 p.m. the night before, and we're in Canada too, so they didn't know, and we did a 50-minute industry set, And luckily, I started I had to come up with a game because if we lose them entirely, we're not going to get any data about what jokes are working. So I tried to be like, okay, who here knows who Theo Von is? And it's 3, and we're about to talk about him for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, can you describe Theo Von to this room?
Yes.
And then it became a fun game of it was funny the way they described him, and then they got a context.
And then you go after him.
But it was so hard. It was just the set we did there, I had to fight that feeling that I was like, this is going to be a disaster. Because you have to be like, they don't know who you're talking about.
Totally.
But even at this thing, I bring up Comics Unleashed, which is the show that replaced Stephen Colbert's time slot.
Yeah.
It is a show that's existed for 30 years, and you can tell no one in the room really knows it.
Yeah.
I said to the room, round of applause if you saw Nate Bargatze's Breadwinner. Not a single person in the room
agent managers.
saw Nate Bargatze's
Wait, at the
movie.
State of the Union show?
At the State of the Industry show. Not a single person.
I thought you were talking about the workout.
No. And so, you just had to incorporate it. And I'm like, okay, well, here's 3 jokes
surely
about
people from
Breadwinner.
Netflix were here. Where are you, Netflix?
But maybe they're not fucking watching. That's why.
But that's what you get to. That's what you get to do. And by the way, again, I'm never gonna work with Nate Bargatze ever. But it's that's kind of embarrassing, brother. No one gives a shit about this.
Yeah. No one said anything. Wow.
So we'll see. We'll see. There was one joke that we heard someone was upset about.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Oh, okay. I want to ask you about that.
We'll see.
That's amazing.
You're listening to The Downside.
The Downside.
With Gianmarco Soresi.